Contributions without donor restrictions. Just so much here, right? So much that you're seeing, so much to love. Don't be intimidated, right? There's so much, but it's all good. It's all going to give you free points. And, you don't have to fully straight up memorize any of this stuff. Just get familiar with it. Get familiar with it. It'll help you so much in answering all these questions in the exam. Get up, do a stretch, do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, whatever gets the blood flowing. We will keep on pushing. This is all good, important, right? Whenever you see a multiple choice question, if you're not sure about how to answer it, come back here, rewatch the videos, and do your best. Here, pledges without donor restriction. So here's the time implied restriction. So initially be recognized as donor restricted. All right, so without donor restrictions, pledge receivable. It's like accounts receivable, right? Allowance for doubtful accounts. It's like allowance for doubtful accounts with AR, right? Same thing. Contributions with donor restrictions, that's like revenue, right? So you see here, boom, just the same as corporate accounting. Same journal entries, same sort of instances. What about assets with donor restrictions are adjusted when collected? Okay, well, this is another example of a journal entry. We've got debiting cash with donor restrictions. So this is when it's being collected. We credit pledge receivable with donor restrictions. This is time restricted, right? So this account, some new accounts, we're getting really into it here. Debiting satisfaction of time restriction with donor restrictions and crediting cash with donor restrictions. Keep in mind, unconditional promises to contribute in the future. These are going to be donor restricted support and at present value of estimated future cash flows using discount rate with the risks involved. If unconditional promises expected to be collected or paid in less than 1 year, these may be measured at net realizable value since the amount is a reasonable estimate of fair value. Net realizable value, right? Remember, that's going to be from accounts receivable. What you're really going to collect from this. That's going to be AR minus allowance for doubtful. Lots of good journal entries here. Get familiar, just take a look. Just tie it back to corporate accounting. That's my best advice for you. Tie this all back to corporate accounting and it should look familiar. Recording assets without donor restrictions. Right here. Nothing too crazy. We debit cash without donor restrictions and credit satisfaction of time restriction without donor restrictions. And don't be too hung up on these credits, right? Or these other weird ones. They're not going to really mess with your head too much. It's going to be pretty clear what the corresponding credit should be. There'll be one that kind of stands out.